very pleasant good morning to you, my dear children. As I already told you in part 8, today we are going to discuss questions from page number 33 and also 15 questions from chapter end exercises. Children, I want to tell you that I have posted 8 videos based on the chapter 2 acids, bases and salts. You can watch each and every video repeatedly so that you will understand the concept very clearly. In between, if you get any doubts, you can put as comments in the comment box so that I can clear all your doubts in the next video. Okay? A request to the newly watching students is please subscribe the channel and also press the bell icon. Watch all the videos from the beginning, that means from part 1, okay, so that you will get all the concepts clearly. Now let's move to the questions. Okay?
Okay, children. So we'll move to page number 33 questions. Okay, question number 1. What is the common name of the compound CaOCl2? What is CaOCl2? It is calcium oxychloride. Common name is bleaching powder. See here, bleaching powder. This is bleaching powder. You can see it's a white color powder which is used to disinfect water. To kill the germs in water, we are using bleaching powder. It's a common use of bleaching powder. Okay, let's move to the question number 2. Name the substance which on treatment with chlorine yields bleaching powder. The question is, on treating with which substance chlorine will give you bleaching powder. So the reaction has already discussed in the videos, that is dry Slaker lime, right? When a chlorine gas is passed over dry Slaker lime, chemical formula CaOH twice. Okay, what will happen? Bleaching powder, which is having a chemical formula CaOCl2 is reduced. Okay, so here you can see dry Slaker lime, same like bleaching powder, it's also a white color powder. It's a mild base. Now moving to the third question, name the sodium compound which is used for softening hard water. What is hard water? Hard water means when the salts of calcium and magnesium dissolve in water, that is like calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, etc. Dissolve in water, they make water hard. It is called hard water. We have already discussed in the class. Okay, so removing the hardness of water, which sodium compound is used? It is washing soda, chemical formula Na2CO3.10H2O, right? So here you can see washing soda, it's also a white color powdery substance. Okay, go to the fourth question. What will happen if a solution of sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated? Give the equation of reaction involved. We know that when sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated, what will happen? 3 products are formed. What are they? It is sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and water. This is the reaction which makes a cake soft and spongy, isn't it? So here is a reaction when sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated. Sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and H2O are produced. When sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated, we'll get sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and water. Okay. So here you can see the chemical reaction. This is the chemical reaction. Okay. The same reaction is used to make washing soda also, right? Na2CO3. To make Na2CO3 from sodium bicarbonate or baking soda, the same chemical reaction is used. So we'll move to the last question of page 33. Write an equation to show the reaction between plaster of Paris and water. You know that plaster of Paris is calcium sulfate hemihydrate, right? CaSO4 dot half H2O. When that white color plaster of Paris, it's a powder. The powder substance is mixed with water. It will absorb the water content, the moisture, and will become a hard mass, which is gypsum, having a chemical formula CaSO4 dot 2H2O. This is gypsum, and this is calcium sulfate hemihydrate, which is plaster of Paris. Okay, so that is why it is not advisable to keep plaster of Paris in moisture containers. I mean water. If water content is there in the containers, what will happen? It will absorb the water content and will become gypsum, which is a very hard solid mass. Okay, see here you can see some of the uses of plaster of Paris, which is used to make molds, different types of molds, and also you can see decorate for decoration. I mean for making false ceiling and all, you can see plaster of Paris is used. Okay, all right. So in text questions from page number 33 is over.
Here comes the end of in-text questions from page number 33. Now we are moving to the chapter end exercises.
Alright, let's move to chapter end questions, chapter end exercises from acids, bases and salts. Okay, we'll move to the first question. A solution turns red litmus blue. Its pH is likely to be. It's a multiple choice question. You can see the options A1, B4, C5 and D10. As the picture is also given. Okay. So let's try to understand the question first. What is the question? A solution turns red litmus to blue. So what type of solutions turn red litmus to blue color? Blue base, right? So the solution given is a base. Now what about pH? How can we decide the pH of acids, bases and neutral substances? We know that neutral substances are having a pH 7 and below to 7, okay, they are acids. I mean 0, from 0 to 7 acids, and from 7 above 7 onwards till 14 bases, right? Okay, so let us now analyze the pH values given here. So first three are less than 7. That means they are acids. But the solution given here is a base. Therefore, its pH should be more than 7. So the answer is 10. Move to the second question. See the question. A solution reacts with crushed eggshells to give a gas that turns lime water milky. The solution contains. Okay. Try to analyze the question. See, a gas is evolved, right? Which turns lime water milky. So what will be the gas? It is carbon dioxide, right? The test for carbon dioxide is lime water test. When carbon dioxide gas is passed through lime water, what is lime water? Calcium hydroxide. Okay. So what will happen? Due to the precipitation of calcium carbonate, okay, white color precipitate, lime water will change into milky white color. Alright. So we know that as a product, carbon dioxide gas is produced. Now, what? Now, first part of the look at the first part of the question. Eggshells. Eggshells contain calcium carbonate, right? When calcium carbonate reacts with the solution, carbon dioxide gas is produced. So we have learned reaction of metal carbonates with acids, isn't it? What are the products? So when a metal carbonate reacts with an acid, three products are produced, the corresponding salt, carbon dioxide and water. Okay. So this solution will be an acid. So the options are given here. See here, option A, hydrochloric acid, B, lithium chloride, potassium chloride and sodium chloride. These three B, C, D options are salts. Okay, only this is the acid. So the answer is hydrochloric acid. See here, this is the change when you pass carbon dioxide through lime water. Why here a white color? The solution became milky white because of the precipitation of calcium carbonate. Okay, hope you understood. We'll move to the third question. Is 10 ml of a solution of sodium hydroxide is found to be completely neutralized by 8 ml of a given solution of hydrochloric acid. If you take 20 ml of the same solution of NaOH, the amount of HCl solution required to neutralize it will be. So look at the question. What is given here? We need 8 ml hydrochloric acid require 10 ml sodium hydroxide to be completely neutralized. So here, what happened in the second case? We are taking just double of sodium hydroxide. Okay, we are not changing the concentration. The concentration remains the same. Okay, so we are just taking the same solution double. So what will happen? The amount of hydrochloric acid solution required to neutralize that much sodium hydroxide is just double, right? That is here, which is the answer? First was 8 ml. Double of 8 is 16 ml. Okay, answer is 16 ml. Hope you understood. See here, next question is a lot of medicines. Pictures of medicines are shown here. First one is amoxicillin. Second one paracetamol. Here it is an antacid given. Here a Dettol. You can see antiseptic liquid. Now let's check the question. Okay, the question is, which one of the following types medicine is used for treating indigestion? We know that during indigestion, excess hydrochloric acid will be produced in our stomach, which will cause a burning sensation in our stomach and also in the food pipe. Okay, now to neutralize the excess acid produced in the food pipe and in the stomach, we need a base to neutralize it. But we know that we cannot take a strong base, isn't it? So we are using a mild base like magnesium hydroxide, which is commonly called milk of magnesia, okay, for neutralizing the excess acid. Such type of medicines are called antacids. Okay, here you can see this is an antacid. All right. Now these are the choices given here: antibiotic, analgesic, antacid, antiseptic. So our answer is antacid. Okay. Now let's check what are the other options also. Here antibiotic. This is an antibiotic, amoxicillin. What is an antibiotic? When we have any infection to fight against the bacteria, we have to take an antibiotic, right? So amoxicillin is a common antibiotic. What is analgesic? Analgesic means it's a painkiller. When we have a headache or a body pain, we take paracetamol, right? So paracetamol is an analgesic. Okay. Now antacid we have already discussed. Now antiseptic means to kill the germs. We are using a medicine. Okay, antiseptic. So we know that when we have a wound, we will clean it with an antiseptic lotion. Okay. Hope you understood. We'll move to the next question. What is the question? Write word equation and then balance equation for the reaction taking place when. So 4 questions are given. So all of them, analyze the question. The questions are reactions between, see, acids and what are these? Metals, right? So acid reaction between different types of acids and with different types of metals. So when a metal reacts with an acid, what are the products? Salt and hydrogen. The corresponding salt and hydrogen gas will be evolved. Okay, here comes the first one. dilute sulfuric acid reacts with zinc granules. Okay, so what is the salt produced? Zinc sulfate, right? Along with hydrogen gas. Here is the word equation. You can see zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. This is the balanced chemical equation, ZnSO4 and hydrogen gas. This is the diagram of the same experiment. Here you can see in the test tube, you can see zinc granules are added to dilute sulfuric acid. You can see a lot of bubbles are evolving from the reaction. And here see through the delivery tube, okay, it is that gas, I mean hydrogen gas is passed to soap solution. Now let me ask you a question. Why we are not burning hydrogen gas directly from the test tube? That is because hydrogen gas is highly inflammable. Therefore, if you heat it directly, which will cause explosive reaction. Okay. That is why to make the reaction very safe, we are passing it through soap solution. Soap bubbles will form. Okay. I mean soap bubbles filled with hydrogen will start to come out of the solution. Now, if you place a candle or a splint, okay, burning splint above that bubbles, it will burn with a pop sound. So that is a test for hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas will burn with a pop sound. Okay, move to the second one. It is dilute hydrochloric acid with magnesium. So the salt produced will be magnesium chloride. Okay, along with hydrogen gas. See here, magnesium chloride is having a chemical formula MgCl2. Valency of magnesium is 2 and chlorine is 1. Okay, plus hydrogen gas. Alright. To the third one, sulfuric acid diluted reacts with aluminium. So what is the name of the salt? Aluminium sulfate, right? There comes the chemical reaction, word equation and chemical equation. So see here, aluminium sulfate. What is the chemical formula of aluminium sulfate? It is Al2SO4 thrice because sulfate is a polyatomic ion having valency 2. Therefore, we will exchange the valencies. Okay, we'll write sulfate valency of sulfate ion with aluminium and the valency of aluminium with sulfate ion. Okay, so aluminium is having a valency 3 because atomic number 13, 2, 8 electronic configuration 2, 8, 3. 3 electron will be lost, isn't it? Therefore, valency 3. So, Al2SO4 thrice along with hydrogen gas. Hope you understood. And the last one is iron filings reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. So, what is the product? It is ferrous chloride or iron chloride, right? See, this is the chemical reaction. Ferrous chloride plus hydrogen gas. Here is the chemical equation FeCl2 and H2 gas. Okay, this is the diagram here. See, hydrogen gas is evolving from the reaction. Lot of fizzing occurs. You can see in the test tube. Right, moving to the next one. Compounds such as alcohols and glucose also contain hydrogen but are not categorized as acids. Describe an activity to prove it. Okay, now we know that acids can release. The definition of acid itself is acid is a substance which can release H plus ions, right? Okay, so we know that acids conduct electricity because of the presence of hydrogen ions. Here, alcohol is having a functional group OH that you are going to study in 4th chapter. Okay, for example, ethanol is having a chemical formula C2H5OH. Okay, hydrogen is there. Glucose, as we already know, glucose is having a chemical formula C6H12O6. Okay, there also hydrogen is present, but they are not categorized as acids. Why they are not categorized as acids? Because even though they contain hydrogen, these substances cannot release that hydrogen as ions. Okay, very important point. See here, therefore they are not conductors. So how can we prove that? We can prove that acids are conductors because of H plus ions. Alcohols and glucose are not conducting electricity because there are no ions, hydrogen ions produced. Here is the activity. You can see here dilute HCl is taken. What will happen? This is the apparatus. Okay. Here two iron nails are there. This is the negative electrode which is called the cathode. This is cathode, and this is the positive electrode which is called anode. So this is the anode. Okay. Now what will happen? A switch is there. So when the switch is on, if this electrolyte, this solution is called electrolyte. So in the case of HCl, we know that they can release H plus ions and Cl minus ions in solution. Okay. So therefore what will happen? Due to the presence of ions, electricity will pass through the solution so that the bulb will start to glow. But in the case of alcohol and glucose, they cannot separate into ions. They cannot release H plus ions. Okay. Therefore, due to the absence of ions, what will happen? Glucose and alcohols will not conduct electricity. Therefore, the bulb will not glow. Okay. So you can describe the activity in your own words. Hope you understood it very clearly. Okay. The diagram is also very important. A very simple diagram. You can remember it very easily. Moving to the seventh question. Why does distilled water not conduct electricity, whereas rainwater does? We know distilled water is pure water, okay, which does not contain any other impurities. It's pure H2O, okay. So what will happen? Pure water is a non-conductor of electricity because of the lack of ions. But what happens to rainwater? We know in the air, a lot of in the atmosphere, a lot of gases are there like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, etc. Isn't it? So what will happen when the rainwater fall through the atmosphere? These gases will dissolve in water and become acids. Okay. For example, if sulfur dioxide gas dissolve in water, it will make sulfurous acid. Carbon dioxide makes carbonic acid. So what happens? The rainwater becomes acidic, right? So what will happen? It can conduct electricity, right? But distilled water does not conduct any ions, therefore it will not conduct electricity. Okay, is it clear for you? All right, moving to the eighth question. Why do acids not show acidic behavior in the absence of water? It's a very important question. For example, if you test hydrogen chloride gas, okay, which is an acidic gas, all right. So when hydrogen chloride gas dissolve in water, we'll get hydrochloric acid. Okay. But when you show a blue litmus paper just above hydrogen chloride gas, it will not show any color change. But if you make the litmus paper, the blue litmus paper wet, will soon, very quickly, it will convert into a red color. So what does it prove? It is in presence of water only, acids, okay, will split into H plus ions and the corresponding negative ions. Okay. So here you can see hydrogen ions can only be produced in the presence of water, and therefore water is definitely needed for acids to show their acidic behavior. Alright. Hope you understood. Okay. And question number 9. 5 solutions are given. Having pH values are also given. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, and their pH values are given respectively. And the question is, which solution is A, neutral, strongly alkaline, strongly acidic, weakly alkaline. Okay, now let's try to analyze the relation between pH value and acidic or basic behavior. Okay, we know that if the value is 7, okay, which is neutral, pH scale is having a range from 0 to 14, and the middle number is 7, which is neutral. Okay, when you move to the left of the pH scale, you will get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So what will happen as we move to the left of the pH scale, it will become more acidic. So lesser the pH is, the more stronger the acidic solution will be. And when you move from 7 to the right side, what will happen? The basic nature of the substance will start to increase. Okay. So as we move away from 7, that is, which is the maximum score is 14, pH value is 14, okay, what will happen? It will become more basic. Okay. Now you can find the answers of this one. See here, which is neutral here? This, by having the value 7, isn't it? So what is that? Which is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. D is neutral. What about strongly? So alkaline means the value should be, the pH value should be above 7, isn't it? So the higher the pH is, the higher will be the basic nature of that solution, right? So here, which is the maximum value? It is 11, right? So that 11 should be, that solution will be more alkaline, strongly alkaline, okay? And what about strongly acidic? So we know that as we move down, to the left side of the pH scale, it will become more and more and more acidic. So the lesser the pH value is, the stronger will be the acid. So here, which is the lesser number? The least number is 1. So 1 is that solution will be strongly acidic. Weakly acidic, so below 7, right? Should come below 7. So what is the next one? 4. Okay. So A is weakly acidic. Weakly alkaline, here 9 is the value, right? So let's check the hydrogen ion concentration is also given here, the increasing order of hydrogen ion concentration. What is hydrogen ion? When hydrogen ion concentration increases, the acidic nature of that substance increases, right? So this is the increasing order of hydrogen ion. That is, C is pH value 11 is having the least hydrogen ion concentration, and the most hydrogen ion concentration is B, solution B. So all the answers are given here, okay, that we already discussed. Question number 10. Equal lengths of magnesium ribbon are taken in test tubes A and B. In A, hydrochloric acid is taken, and in B, acetic acid, a weak acid is taken. Now the question is, in which test tube will be the fizzing occur more vigorously and why? So here, amount and concentration of the acids are same. But we know that hydrochloric acid is a strong acid, so that it can ionize completely. It will produce more H plus ions, therefore more hydrogen gas will be produced. Okay, more fizzing will occur in the first test tube because it's a strong acid. It can completely ionize, right? So here, this is the answer. Fizzing occurs because of the production of hydrogen gas obtained due to the reaction of the acid on the magnesium ribbon. Since HCl is a very strong acid, there's a lot of liberation of hydrogen gas from test tube A. Okay, therefore, more fizzing takes place in test tube A, right? So here is the chemical reaction. This is a fast reaction and this is a slow reaction. See here, this is magnesium acetate. Okay, look at the chemical formula. CH3COO 2 times Mg, because magnesium is having a valency 2 and the acetate polyatomic ion is having a valency 1. Okay, so the chemical formula, this is, what is this? Acetic acid or ethanoic acid. Okay, this is called ethanoic acid. Alright, which is a weak, very weak acid. Okay, question number 11. Fresh milk has a pH of 6. So fresh milk is slightly acidic in nature. Okay, because of the presence of lactic acid. How do you think the pH will change as it turns into curd? What will happen? We know that when it turns into curd, more lactic acid is produced. Okay, as a result, what will happen to the pH? It will become lesser, isn't it? So explain your answer. What will happen? Fresh milk is turned to curd due to the production of lactic acid. Lactic acid reduces the pH of the milk. So more acidic is the substance, lesser is its pH. So the pH will be reduced in the case of curd. Question number 12 is, a milkman adds a very small amount of baking soda to fresh milk. Okay. Now what will happen if we add, if he adds some baking soda to fresh milk? It will slightly become alkaline. Actually, milk is acidic in nature because having pH 6. Now adding baking soda, which is a very mild base, it will become alkaline, slightly alkaline. Okay. Now the question is, why does this milk take a longer time to set as curd, and why he is shifting from slightly acidic to alkaline? Okay, we know that the milk is already acidic in nature, so it will get spoiled. It will become sour, more sour, very quickly if we keep the fresh milk like that. Okay, but if you add a base into that, now we are increasing the pH value. Okay, so what will happen? The milk will take long time to set as curd. That is why he is adding some amount of baking soda to fresh milk. Here you can see the answer. He shifted the pH of the fresh milk from 6 to slightly alkaline to prevent milk from getting sour due to the production of lactic acid. And why it takes long time to set as curd? Because after adding the baking soda, it needs to reach to neutral, to become neutral first. Then the pH is reduced to turn the milk into curd. So it will take a long time. Now the milk is alkaline. First it has to become neutral. Then it has to go below the pH, to become acidic. So it will take a long time. Alright. Moving to the question number 13. Plaster of Paris should be stored in a moisture-proof container. Explain why. Plaster of Paris having a chemical formula CaSO4.half H2O can absorb water content, moisture, and it will become CaSO4.2H2O, which is called gypsum. Okay, which is a very hard solid mass. This is a chemical reaction. See here, plaster of Paris can absorb water content and it will become a very hard solid mass, which is called gypsum. So to prevent that one, we should always keep plaster of Paris in a moisture proof container. Moving to question number 14. What is neutralization reaction? Give 2 examples. Okay. Now from lower classes itself we are learning neutralization reaction. What is it? When an acid and a base react each other, they neutralize each other and 2 neutral products are produced. What are those neutral products? Salt and water. Okay. Now, in this chapter, we have learned all salts are not neutral. Okay, according to the strength of the acid or the base, the produced salt will be acidic, basic, or neutral. Okay, now when you write the examples, try to take strong acid and strong base so that we will get a neutral salt. Okay, therefore, these 2 reactions in which in first case sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, both of them are very strong. So the salt produced sodium chloride is a neutral salt. Here in the second case, potassium hydroxide and sulfuric acid, both of them are strong acid and base. So the salt produced will be also neutral in nature, same like the first one. Okay. So here remember to write the reaction in which neutral salts are produced. Okay. So we can call it as neutralization reaction, right? And the last question, give 2 important uses of washing soda and baking soda. Okay. We have already discussed a lot of uses of washing soda and baking soda. It's a direct question. So here are the answer for that one in a table. Baking soda is used to prepare baking powder. Okay, we already discussed that one, and it is a active ingredient of antacids. And washing soda is used to remove permanent hardness of water, and it is used as a cleaning agent in domestic purposes. So all the questions, 15 questions are over. Okay.
Hope all of you understood all the questions and answers very clearly. Next video, don't forget, it will be based on previous question papers. Okay, don't forget to watch and also don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.